ये अपना संजीवन है।
Hi friends, let's tune in with the second part of the poem on Jennifer's Tigers, written by Adrian Rich. Let me read the stanza third aloud. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. The poet says that one can easily sense Aunt's desire for freedom and fearlessness through her design of her tigers. Further, she says that it is not possible for Aunt to achieve this freedom during her lifetime also. She will attain it only after her death. But here also, the irony of her life is that still she will tied up with the shackles in the form of her husband's wedding ring. The ring was the sole proof of the tortures which she had faced from her husband. On the other hand, there are the tigers designed by the Aunt Jennifer, which will always depict her desire of living a fearless life will by jumping proudly and bravely on the piece of cloth. The third stanza, there's the change in notion, there's a change in the thought, there's an idea what would be after her death, and here clearly depicted that still her death or after her death also she won't get what she was desiring. Her desire was to lead her life with fearlessness and with a strong will, with a positive note, and to lead life with a courageous mind, courageous thoughts, and courageous actions. So that is a signal that is depicted, portrayed through her design by herself on a piece of a cloth. Actually, she wanted to be fearless in her life, but she was so pressed. She was so under stress that she was tortured by her husband and her independence, her freedom, her wish. Everything was snatched from her, and she was made target of sufferings, and so inwardly she was bearing all those sufferings and all those tortures, all those unhappy moments in her life. So her life was totally imbalanced due to these circumstances which were appearing in her life. That's the reason here poetess has indicated that she won't get what she was expecting in her life, and the ring, the wedding ring or the engagement ring, which is a symbol of shackles, so that will continue till her death, till her end. Now let's understand the summary of the third stanza. The last stanza starts on a creepy note about Aunt Jennifer's death. The last stanza is related to the idea of her end, of her death. What would be after her death? So that is depicted in the last stanza. Even her death couldn't free her from the ordeals she went through, which can be seen in the line, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. So with these lines, it is clearly mentioned that after her death also, she won't get what she was expecting, was what she was willing, longing for, the freedom or independence or liberty or escape from the ordeals or the safer side from her husband's tortures. She wanted to get rid of that unhappy life which she was leading in her mistress home, and she wanted to get rid of all these things. But the point is that still, up to her death, up to her end, she won't get escape from such okay, these ordeals. Those terrified hands will continue to shake. And see, but her artwork, which was her escape route, or in a way her inner sense of freedom, will stay forever proud and unafraid. So here a contrast is mentioned. One side death is there and end is there, and the other side the artwork is there. Artwork is always a symbol of eternity, okay, permanent process. It will stay sustain long, it will stay for a long duration. One side death and end, and one side the eternity is there. So artwork will continue to sustain. Her work, what she has portrayed on a piece of cloth, that courageous, strong, yellow tiger, shiny tiger, strong tigers were prancing in the air, jumping in the air. Actually, it's her inner wish. She wanted to be strong. She wanted to face ordeals, okay, strongly, and she wanted to have courageous actions in her life. She want to come with a revolt against her what type of a treatment given by her husband in her life. So she wanted to give a strong answer to her husband's torture, which she was experiencing in her life, a sad life, unhappy life. So she was totally neglected at home, and she was denied all those rights, that's freedoms, independence, and but she was targeted. She was made to suffer. So she wanted to get rid of all these things, and the inner thoughts, the inner mind, inner soul, she was trying to portray on a piece of a cloth, and she was embroidering strong tigers prancing in the air. Dear friends, now let's understand the very important point. That's the summary of the poem Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. The poet expresses the inner feelings of a woman, Aunt Jennifer. The aunt is embroidering a motif, a image, or a symbol, and that is of comprising of energetic, fearless tigers moving freely around the bright greenery. Back, that's background was jungle or green the color. She is living a life of submissiveness to her husband's command. Her acts are dominated by him, and she fears him constantly. This pattern of the free and fearless tigers reflects her inner desire, her inner wish, her inner soul to live a free and fearless life. The tigers are graceful and elegant and bright and strong, courageous. Aunt Jennifer's fingers tremble as she embroiders. She is old but still fears her husband. She does not enjoy the freedom to do anything as per her wish, as per her will, as per her mind in her life. She is sacred doing the embroidery too, fears his wrath. Since the day she got married, she has been fulfilling the demands of her husband continuously, and she was very dedicated. She was very simple, straightforward, submissive. The wedding ring on her hand is a constant reminder that she belongs to her husband. So the wedding ring, it was a symbol of the shackles or the sufferings or the struggle in her life. The burden of the demanding marriage has exhausted her. Her life is unhappy, and she was carrying the load, the burden throughout her life. The torment will not end until her death. Even after her death, the ring will remain on her hand. It will continuously remain on her hand till her end, till her death, and she will never be free. On the other hand, the tigers that she is embroidering will continue to move around freely forever. Her desires of a freedom and fearless will live through her tigers. Now let's understand the background of the poem. Aunt Jennifer Tigers is a poem by Adrienne Rich illustrating her feminist concerns, her serious concerns to the movement of women's rights. In the male dominant world, a woman of her time was only supposed to be a dutiful homemaker. This poem, through the world of Aunt Jennifer, tells us about her inner desire to free herself from the clutches of abusive marriage and patriarchal society, male dominant society. So, this poem is a type of a hocal, is a type of a message to the world that the section, women section, how they were undergoing sufferings and struggle in their unhappy married life, and how they were targeted and how they were made a subject of a suffering, and how they were tortured. So this all is revealed through Aunt Jennifer's tigers, and through this poem. So this is a poem which gives certain revelation of facts, revelation of reality in the contemporary society, in the maximum areas in the world. Now let's see some of the new words in the form of glossary, which is very important in view of the exam, in view of the question paper, because some marks are dedicated to the new words, the meaning, synonym or antonym. So just pay attention and try to understand the glossary of which appeared in this poem. Prance, its meaning is to spring forward on hind legs and to shout about. Topaz, a clear yellowish brown gemstone. Then the denizens, a person or animal or a plant that lives or grows or is often found in a particular place. Chivalric, gallant and respectful. Chivalric means strong, courageous, and energetic. Shiny. Then wedding band. It's a just like a ring or like that. Ordeals, a painful or a trying experience. Sleek, elegant, courageous, strong, shiny, etc. A fluttering, to flap or wave quickly but irregularly, or the uncertain action, or trembling, like that. Pace, a step taken with a foot. Pace means a step. Now let's understand the poetic devices and figures of speech which appeared in this poem in view of the question paper and the exam. So this part holds its own importance. So let's understand the poetic devices and figures of speech. Alliteration. Alliteration means a repetition of initial sound. Fingers are fluttering. The first sound is repeated. The first sound is in finger and the first sound in fluttering. So this is called as a alliteration. Then a prancing proud. So P sound is repeated. Prancing P is per sound, and proud per sound is there. Then chivalric certainty. Then a weight of a wedding band. So these are the examples. These are the poetic devices of alliteration. Then metaphor. Metaphor is it's a type of comparison without words, like as or like. Ringed with ordeals, even death would not free her. The wedding band, a symbol of operation, would yet be on her finger. So this is a ringed with ordeals. This is a metaphor. Then visual imagery, bright topaz, denizens, world of a green. So these appeal to our visuals Here bright topaz colors are there, then green color is also there. So these appeal to our visual imagery. This is called as a visual imagery. It is ironical that Aunt Jennifer's creations, the tigers will continue to pace and prance freely, while Aunt herself will remain terrified even after her death. Ringed by the ordeals, she was controlled by her married life. So here is a contrast that one side the eternity is shown, and the other side there is a reference of her end, there is a reference of her death. So this indicates the irony or a contrast. Now the symbols, various symbols are used in the poem. So let's understand which are the symbols used in this poem. Wedding band, this is a symbol of a operation in an unhappy marriage. Its weight refers to the burden of gender expectations. Ringed means encircled, trapped, losing individuality and freedom. Aunt Jennifer, a typical victim of a male operation in an unhappy marriage, who suffers loss of individuality, dignity, personal freedom silently. She becomes dependent, fearful, and frail. So she is a representative of this class of a women section in society in various parts of the world. So Aunt Jennifer is a symbol of sufferings, is symbol of a struggle against the male dominant society. Then the third image, it is used, that's a tigers. Tiger symbolizes untamed free spirit. Here they stand in contrast to her creator's personality. The use of colors implies that Aunt Jennifer tigers and their land are more vital and enjoy a sense of freedom far greater than her. They pace and prance freely, proudly, fearless, confident, majestic, fearless of a men. The next imagery, that is a yellow, bright topaz, connotes the sun and fierce energy. So this indicates shine, this indicates the flow of energy, this indicates the positive side of a mind. Yellow, or that's a bright topaz. Then green, one more color is here. It reminds one of the spring and vitality, and this refers to the freshness in the life. This green color is always indication of that's prosperity is indicated through the green shades or green backgrounds. Dear friends, Aunt Jennifer seems to be a victim, but is also a quiet heroine, isn't it? The poem is ambiguous, leaving the reader to choose. Her relationship has been a difficult one, and although no specifies or mention, it becomes so it allows the reader to choose what line can be sustained or what line can be caught. Then let me raise some of the themes which appeared throughout the poem. Female role in the home, then female role in marriages, animals as a symbols, women and nature, patriarchal power, then individual freedoms, political issues, art as a escapism. So these are the various themes which are raised or which are kept on the background of the poem, and these can be highlighted. So these various themes are brought throughout the each and every line of this poem. Now let me throw light on the rhyme scheme. Each couplet rhyming, so the reader tends to get the sense of what is unfolding regular fashion. Like the tigers prancing, certain lines encourage the rhythmic approach, others stutter and jar as if there's a little obstacle in the way. So there's a rhyme scheme is AABB is continuously maintained throughout the poem. So it brings a musical effect in the poem. Thank you for watching this video.